Hello, everybody. Dan Ward here with the Ward on Sports. We're talking MLB previews. Today on this video, we're going to talk about the National League first, as baseball is officially back. Donning the Phillies cap, donning the Twins gear. My two favorite teams. You might hear a little bit of bias in the predictions, but overall, I love baseball. I try to be as honest as I can, see things how I see them. Sometimes they're different from all the analysts and the professionals who do this. I'm here to have some fun, here to give you my predictions. If you like them, great. If you don't like them, great. Let's get started. We'll start out west and work our way back east. Predictions for the National League West this year will be right here on screen. Dodgers, 105 wins. You've got to pick the Dodgers at the top, followed by the Padres. We'll get into that real quick. Then the San Francisco Giants, the top three, especially that second and third spot, could be different for a lot of people. Colorado Rockies, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks rounding it out. Now, taking a look at just the teams really quickly, the Dodgers, it's obvious. 105 wins. They are the team to beat. Their offense and lineup is one of the best we've ever seen in baseball. So unless they just get hit by an epidemic of injuries or something, there's no reason to not have them win 100 games. They had 106 wins last year. They arguably got better by adding Freddie Freeman. So I would say go big. Now, if they decide to play it easy because their division's not very strong, they rest some guys, maybe work on some things throughout the season, maybe they don't get to that point. But Dave Roberts already said it's World Series or bust, so I think they're going for it. Dodgers at the top. You can be as bold as you want. You can be as wild as you want, but only a plethora of injuries will knock this team off this year. Then you have the Padres and the Giants. These two are probably flip-flop for a lot of people. Giants 107 wins last year, but I think they take a real big step backwards. I think everything went right for that team last year. They lose a couple of big pieces in Chris Bryant and Buster Posey, especially. Posey being a key loss for them. Yes, Joey Bart's coming up, a catcher that should be amazing, but he's also a rookie, so who knows how good he's going to be. I think so many things went right for the Giants that they can't possibly duplicate it, especially offensively. You're asking Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, Evan Longoria to have great seasons again, to be their old selves. They're another year older. Not really sure how I feel about the offense. Pitching, they should be solid. It should be a good pitching staff again, but will the pitching be enough? San Francisco's an analytically driven team, so they could surprise us, but I'm not very excited. I think last year was a lot of fun, was very impressive, but I don't know if they have that type of play in them in back-to-back years. A lot of people agree in the sense that they will take a step back, maybe not as big as I do. But another reason why they take such a big step back is because of the Padres, a team that was nearly a playoff team last year, if not for a big collapse at the end of the season. Fernando Tatis missed a lot of games last year, and they still were in that playoff hunt. He's going to miss the start of the season, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I think that actually could be a beneficial thing that they knew they were going to not have him in the beginning. That mentally prepares you as players, as his backups. They know they're going to get a lot of playing time, so they are focused in differently. Your mindset, your structure is different, knowing, okay, we can't rely on this superstar player. We have to do it ourselves. I think that's going to be a benefit to the Padres. I think that they've made some good moves this offseason. Yes, there's a lot of talks about Eric Hosmer and they got to get rid of his contract, but alas, whatever. You can't get that done. With him, they were a near playoff team last year. Take away the collapse, they're in there. And now they have Bob Melvin, one of the best managers in the sport. Some people say managers don't matter. He will make the difference in this team. They turn things around and finally show up as the team that we've all been winning them for them to be in over the last 3 or 4 years or so. Padres, not good enough to beat the Dodgers. Nobody is, at least in the regular season. But second place, wildcard spot for the Padres. Then wrapping out the bottom, Colorado Rockies, Arizona Diamondbacks. I think the Rockies are a team that has been given a lot more crap than maybe they deserve. Well, maybe not that they deserve. We'll take that one back. But I think that they are a better team than people are giving them credit for. Chris Bryant, hey! Not sure where else it goes from there. There'll still be a fun offense. 74 wins, nothing to write home about, but they're also not the worst team in the league. Go Rockies. And then the Diamondbacks, hey, they will improve vastly, but they were so bad last year that 100-plus losses, not hitting that mark, will be a winning season for them. They are on the come-up, should have some good moves coming forward. Glad they signed Ketel Marte to an extension, but this year, not much. Moving on to the NL Central, a lot of people say this is the Brewers' division to lose, and I am going to be right there with them, agreeing on that one. Brewers offense, not very strong. So I only have them at 89 wins, but I do think that'll be enough to win this division. Hey, 88 was enough for the Atlanta Braves to win the World Series last year, so why not 89 for the Brew Crew? Then I have the Cubs finishing in second, the Cardinals in third, Reds in fourth, And the Pirates, first team you see with 100+ losses. So, Brewers, big thing for them is Christian Yelich being an X factor offensively. We know their pitching staff is going to be amazing. They're bringing back the Cy Young Award winner, although he should have finished second behind Zach Wheeler. Brett Anderson could take over as a Cy Young winner this year, and a lot of people love Freddie Peralta. I don't know if he's Cy Young caliber, but still a very strong number 3. And then you have Josh Hader, Devin Williams in the back end of the bullpen. Pitching, not an issue. Will the offense show up? That'll be the big question. If Christian Yelich can be MVP, real World Series chances. If the offense is going to be as bad as it was last year or even just subpar, then division, easy. Not a great division. World Series, that's their hope. I don't think they're going to get there, though. Then you have the Cubs and the Cardinals. Another flip-flop for me between a lot of other people. I don't think the people are giving the Cubs enough credit. Yes, they had a huge fire sale around the trade deadline last year, but they have a lot of really good pieces. They have some young pieces in Nick Madrigal and Patrick Wisdom. They brought in Seiya Suzuki, the big Japanese free agent. So they have some good new talent that can really come together. Are they a playoff team? I don't think so. But David Ross has proven he's a good manager. I think that the Cubs are still the Cubs, and they are the recent Cubs rather than the 108 years without a World Series Cubs. Over 500, potentially competing for a playoff spot if they surpass my expectations. I don't have them in the playoffs for this one, but I think they deserve a little bit more respect than they've been giving. Cardinals needed a 17-game winning streak or something of that nature last year in order to make the playoffs. Take that away, they're an average team. That's why I have them as an average team here in this predictions. 81 and 81. Are they the Angels of the National League? That's kind of how I am seeing them because they have 2 superstar talents in Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, but unable to put it all together. They are better than the Angels because they actually can go to the playoffs and the Angels cannot. But alas, I'm banking on no voodoo magic, as people like to say who are Cardinals fans. 500 season, try again next year. And then the Reds and the Pirates, people are crapping on the Reds because they got rid of some of their better players, but they still have some good talent. I mean, Jonathan India, Rookie of the Year, is still there. Joey Votto, the team leader. Luis Castillo, if he can bounce back and be the pitcher that he was. Nick Senzel, still some good talent. I think they'll make for some exciting games, some fun games. I think 69 wins is a nice number for them to win this year. They won't be good, but they're not going to be the worst team in the league. That very well could be the Pirates, who don't deserve any high expectations or high marks until Bobby Nothing is no longer the owner of the team, because it is just embarrassing. So while they will not give Brian Reynolds, Ke'Bryan Hayes, or O'Neal Cruz any help, and they also won't even play Cruz, which is a whole story in itself, 100 losses seems like a lock until they actually decide to spend some money and get some talent in order to help all these young players. They have talent, they're not utilizing it. And then last but not least, we have the division that I had a video made last year where I was like, it's the best division in baseball, and turned out to be pretty mediocre. But we're going to try again this year. Very well could be the best division in baseball again, with 3, potentially 4 teams competing for a playoff spot. We have, for my predictions, the New York Mets coming out on top. I'm riding the excitement on that one. Philadelphia Phillies finishing in second. Atlanta Braves, World Series champs, finishing in third, followed by the Marlins and the Washington Nationals. Unless I decide to do an episode dedicated to the Braves, this might be the only time you see me in a Braves hat. So hope you enjoy it. Brandon Riddle, Devin, PJ, anybody else who's a Braves fan who's actually watching this. But with that being said, New York Mets. I know it's silly to pick the Mets because they always, LOL, New York Mets, have high projections and they don't come through. But I think this is finally the year that they do it. Last year I didn't pick them, and yeah, I was correct to not do. This year, something about it just feels like it's going to come around. Steve Cohen's spending all the money. Buck Showalter is a very legit manager who knows how to get teams to the playoffs. Francisco Lindor will not be as bad as he was last year. He is too good of a player to not have a strong season this year. Pete Alonso should be hitting home runs again. I think that this team, if Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer can be healthy for even half the season, I think they have a great shot at winning this division. Only have them winning 94 games, so they're not a powerhouse of the league by any means, but they are going to be one of the top teams, second best in the National League. They're going to put it all together at one point. Why not this year? I have the Phillies finishing second, just edging out the Braves. This lineup does not have an easy out on paper through the starting 9, and they have a pitching staff, when healthy, that could compete with any starting 5 in the league. That's not me just being biased. That is factual. You have what should be the Cy Young Award winner in Zach Wheeler. You have Aaron Nola, who has finished top 3 in Cy Young voting a few seasons ago. Ranger Suarez, who had a below 2 ERA last year, and then Zach Eflin, Kyle Gibson, two ground ball pitchers, ground ball double plays for days. Both of them have proven to be strong pitchers. Kyle Gibson, an all-star for the Rangers last year, I believe, and Zach Eflin, bounce back season, contract season, going to be pitching very well. So as long as everybody stays healthy, this team should rock. This team should be a competitive, good team. Of course, we have said that in the past. Many years have come and gone with the Phillies expecting to finally end their playoff streak, but I think this is the year that they finally make it to the playoffs, ending the second longest drought in baseball currently. They do so by edging out the Braves, who I do have making the playoffs. Same exact record as last year, 88 wins, 74 losses. They get back Ronald Acuna, who missed, I think, half the season last year, but they do lose Freddie Freeman. So you lose an MVP and you gain an MVP back, at least MVP talent. But I think Freddie Freeman was something different with that team. The heart, the soul, the foundation, the true leader of that team. I know that there have been reports coming out that he left the Braves in the wrong way, that maybe him and Acuna weren't actually great buddies, but he was the guy who said they were the team to beat before anybody really had them on the map a few years ago. He is the guy who everybody loves in baseball. I think the chemistry of that team is going to take a hit. They brought in some good acquisitions. They also brought in Kenley Jansen, who I've never been a fan of, and I think he's on the down end of his career, so that's going to lose them some games. Acuna will win them some games. Everything evens out. Unfortunately for them, the Phillies and the Mets come to play this year, so they do finish third. They do get a wild card spot, but it's going to be another challenge for them to repeat as champions. And then the Marlins are the wild card team. If you want to predict them making the playoffs, wouldn't it be a surprise? Any one of those top three teams, I think, could fall down. I think the Braves are the most likely to make the playoffs, even though I have them at third in the division with my predictions. I think the Mets obviously have shown that they could collapse and not have a good season. And honestly, so have the Phillies. The Phillies have proven that they can be a 500 team year in and year out. So very easy for either of those two teams to fall. The Marlins come up and take either the Mets or the Phillies spots. They have a great pitching staff. They actually filled out the roster pretty nicely. Their offense is probably going to be better than people expect. Still have Don Mattingly as manager, a guy who's proven to be a winner. A lot of young talent, mixing around with some experience now. The Marlins are going to be a fun team to watch. Nobody's going to watch them in their stadiums, but if you want to watch them on MLB TV, as long as you don't live in Florida or wherever the regional area is, they'll be a fun team to watch. And then Nationals just need to do anything they can to try to keep Soto beyond this year. They're going to have a great trade deadline, refill the farm system, get a ton of prospects. Maybe you can come back and compete in a year or two, but right now their priority is to just keep Soto. Do not let him walk like Harper or Rendon. Harper was amazing. Rendon has been injury-riddled since, but Soto is another potentially generational talent. He's already looking like that through 2 years, and you cannot continue to let your superstars walk away. Whatever it takes for the Nationals to keep Soto, that's their goal this season, not winning games. Meh. So, last but not least, let's talk award predictions for the National League. Show them up on screen, run through them real quick. Francisco Lindor is my surprise MVP candidate, with Bryce Harper as my second pick. I always give myself 2 picks. Makes it a little bit more fun, gives yourself a little bit more parity, a little bit more options at the end of the season to see how well you predicted. Francisco Lindor, bounce back season. As mentioned earlier, too good of a player to not have a strong season at some point. I think he does bounce back. And then why not go for Bryce Harper? Brett Anderson, I was high on last year. This time I picked him again to win the Cy Young. He takes over Corbin Burns' spot. So back-to-back Brewers Cy Young winners. Definitely could see Corbin Burns winning it again, or Zach Wheeler. A lot of good pitchers in the National League. Sandy Alcantara is another one. My friend Ray Dunn has been high on him for several years. This could be the year that he officially breaks out. Seiya Suzuki's my Rookie of the Year pick. Gotta love the guy from Japan, Joey Bart. Talked highly about him for the Giants. If he steps up and is Buster Posey light or just as good, then he should easily take Rookie of the Year. Ronald Acuna Jr. Don't know if he actually qualifies for Comeback Player of the Year, but he's going to have an MVP season most likely. So after missing the majority of the season last year, or almost the majority, he is a solid Comeback Player of the Year candidate. A lot of people like Christian Yelich in that spot, but I'm going to go with Acuna. And then Sir Anthony Dominguez. He is a legitimate Comeback Player of the Year candidate. Has missed, I believe, the last 5 seasons. So if he is able to pitch and pitch as dominant as he was back the last time he pitched, easy win for Sir Anthony, assuming the voters care about relief pitchers. And then Manager of the Year should be pretty easy. Either Bob Melvin for like the 10th time in his career, I think he will, if he wins it with the Padres, it'll be his third different organization, I believe, that he has won Manager of the Year. Or Buck Showalter. If the Mets finally don't Met and they win the division, he will be very deserving of that award. Said last but not least, but I forgot about the playoff predictions. So, playoff predictions. With the way that we had it organized, the Dodgers and the Mets get the first round byes. Brewers would take on the Braves with the 3-6 matchup, and the Padres would take on the Phillies in the 4-5 matchup. This is where the bias may come in a little bit. I'm taking the Phillies because I just want the Phillies to win a playoff series. I want them to make the playoffs, but I also want them to win a series. And then the Brewers versus the Braves, maybe a little bit biased as well, but I think in a 3-game series that the Brewers pitching staff would be the advantage. Pitching would be the advantage in such a short series. So Brewers take down the Braves, have to face the Dodgers, can't pick against the Dodgers. As many times as I wanted to look around, where can I find the Dodgers losing? It's not going to be till the World Series. Well, spoiler. Oh, wow. Well, you'll find out in the American League preview if you haven't watched that yet. So Mets versus Phillies kills me in my heart. But if the Mets are going to be the better team over the course of the season, we'll take them. We'll ride the hype of the Mets not betting for once this year. They go to the championship series and then lose to the Dodgers as the Dodgers go back to the World Series. Be sure to check out my American League preview as well. MLB season is upon us. Thank you, MLB, PA, and the commissioner and the owners for getting the season back. Baseball is upon us. Be sure to check out all my videos. A lot of baseball videos to come in the future. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Catch you all later. Go Phillies, goes Twins.